What's going on, people, and welcome back to another player versus player. This one has been long overdue, and I'm surprised it's taken this long in the community tab in the polls for this one to win over certain other matchups, because these two are both legends, both that I fondly remember, and two of my favourites in world football growing up. So it is Ronaldo, the original R9, versus Gabriel Batistuta, who I think is a very criminally underrated striker in his outright in history of football. He doesn't get spoken about enough for me, and he's one that I remember growing up a lot, with that long hair, his strength, his thunderbolts of shots, his power, coming up against United a few times and hurting us as well, and that Fiorentina kit as well. First up, we've got heading. I think this one does fall in the category for Batistuta. I think he was a lot more powerful in the air than Ronaldo was. I remember him scoring more headers, and he was just a bit more of a brute force when it comes to that. So Batistuta for the heading. Anticipation up next, timing their runs, being clever with their runs, anticipating where the ball's going to be, obviously, and what their teammates are going to do. This is a tight one for me, but I'm going to edge it to Ronaldo. But I think Batistuta did it underrated as well at it. So long range shooting, I'd have to give this one to Gabriel Batistuta. I think it was one of his trademark moves, the amount of long-range thunderbolts he scored. He's had one of the hardest shots in terms of sheer power I've ever seen. So for me, Batistuta for long-range shooting. Goals was an interesting one because they were very close overall. I weren't sure how close it was going to be in terms of that, but it was very close indeed. Ronaldo ended with 295 and Batistuta ended with 245. So not a lot of difference in that, both in the 200 category, but for the numbers alone, you have to give it to Ronaldo. But I knew that Batistuta would have a lot himself. 1v1s, I'd have to edge that to Ronaldo. I think the amount of times I remember him going around the keeper or doing a dummy and making the keeper make a move early, and then he's got more of the goal to aim at and stuff. I think Ronaldo was your guy for that. Composure, I have to give it to Ronaldo. I think Batistuta was very composed in front of goal. I mean, his goals speak for themselves, but I think having that calmness as well in front of goal, I think Ronaldo did it with a bit more flair and style. So Ronaldo for composure. Dribbling, I think this one's an easy one for Ronaldo. He had that samba style about him as a Brazilian. Wasn't the most, he wasn't a Ronaldinho in terms of the tricks, but he was a bit more subtle about it, but still, he could do the flip-flap. He had that samba in him, typical Brazilian, but he was far more than that as well. I think Batistuta was an okay dribbler, but he was more about hold-up play, strength, thunderbolt shots. So I would give dribbling to Ronaldo. Acceleration, this is a pretty easy one. I don't think Batistuta was terribly slow, but he didn't have Ronaldo's acceleration. Tenacity, I don't look at Ronaldo in that way in terms of he was like a Tevez or a Suarez in terms of that tenacity off the ball and pressing, whereas I think Batistuta had that a bit more about him in terms of off the ball and putting pressure on people, the strength, and just that dog inside you that you got to be nasty. I think Batistuta had that more, so I would give that to Batistuta. Influence, tough one, because I think these two guys were hugely influential on their teams and for their countries. I'd have to give it to Ronaldo for influence, for what he did, World Cup finals and things. The one that sticks out in my mind is that 2002 World Cup final against Germany. He scores the only goal, and just he's the man for it. Do you know what I mean? He loves that pressure and that all eyes on him moment, and he comes up trumps. And Batistuta had them moments, but probably not. He never got a World Cup final or won a World Cup. Did it for Fiorentina a few times in terms of winning things and high pressure situations, but not to the same degree Ronaldo did. Teamwork, I think Batistuta was a good team player, but I do think he was a little bit more single-minded. He would finish off moves more than creating for other people, whereas I think Ronaldo did finish off a lot of the moves, but he could also create too. So I'd go with Ronaldo for teamwork. Agility, again, Batistuta just wasn't blessed with natural agility like that. It wasn't quick-footed really. People that have seen Ronaldo, you'll know what I mean. The guy was fleet-footed, light on his feet, just a pleasure to watch, and he had that agility. So Ronaldo for me. Athleticism, bit of a trickier one. I think I think I would probably actually give athleticism to Batistuta. I think he was stronger. I think he had better jumping ability, more dominant in the air. So I would edge the athleticism to Batistuta. Technique, it's a difficult one because Ronaldo, in terms of dribbling technique, first touch control, he's got one of the best first touches I've ever seen. Batistuta, though, could take free kicks. They both were good at penalties, but Batistuta specifically, the power on his penalties and free kicks. It depends on what you're basing it on as well, if it's for dead ball situations or if it's for in-game play like dribbling and first touch. I would edge... I think I'm going to come back to technique, actually. I need to come back to that one. Awareness in terms of knowing where you are on the pitch, for your teammates and for yourself. I think I would edge that to Ronaldo again. I think that's a tough one. You could give it to Batistuta just as easy, but I would give it to Ronaldo for awareness. Jumping, for me, would be Batistuta. As I said, I think he was a lot more dominant in the air than Ronaldo was. He was a more natural jumper and had more power. Strength, another one, Batistuta takes that one easy. Work rate, interesting one, because I think a younger Ronaldo had that work rate more over than he did in his latter years. I think Batistuta, he had that tenacity, but he wasn't necessarily just sprinting around the pitch like a headless chicken either. But I think that's a tough one, work rate. We'll come back to work rate. We'll come back. Presence, in terms of just having that presence on the field, whether it's for your teammates to inspire or that intimidation factor for opponents, seeing you in the tunnel and even on the pitch. There's a famous clip of Zlatan Ibrahimovic that you can find on YouTube, and one of his idols was Ronaldo growing up. And he played against him for Inter Milan against AC Milan when Ronaldo moved to AC Milan nearer the end of his career. And there's a picture of him there's a clip of him before they kick off in that game, and he's just staring at Ronaldo in like a kid would, like, oh my God, he's in front of me, I can't believe it. And he's about to go up against him and play him. So I love that clip, just thought I'd put it out there if you haven't seen it or weren't aware of it. It's a fantastic one. And it's just that romantic side of football, and that why we fall in love with it. Players like Ronaldo and players like Ibrahimovic, as much as he's done in his career, having that respect and adulation and being like a fan himself, even though he's about to be an opponent. So it's a tough one, because presence, growing up as well, I remember Batistuta a lot. Champions League against United, Fiorentina kit, and even for Argentina, but more so for Fiorentina. I think they both had it in abundance, the presence factor, but I would give it to Ronaldo. I think more people were kind of intimidated by him and just adored him as well. So Ronaldo for presence. Ronaldo finished with 18 and Batistuta finished with 10, so only 8 in it. And it decides it for me as well is that Ronaldo, not only did he get club level trophies like Batistuta did, but he also had the World Cups to back it up as well. So 2 World Cups for Ronaldo, none for Batistuta, and just has more in total in terms of overall trophies, so Ronaldo for that. Career, who had the better career? Look, Ronaldo had a fantastic career, but a lot of it was ruined by injury as well. Batistuta had a decent career, but again, even with all the injuries he had, I think what he achieved and how good he was, Ronaldo for me. And legacy, again, unfortunate for Batistuta, because I think he would win a lot of these player versus players if I put him up against other people. He's up against arguably the GOAT. Legacy, it's got to be Ronaldo for what he did. People still talk about him to this day. People still respect him at the highest level to this day. And I think he deserves it for what he did. And he would have done even more if he hadn't have had all them serious bad injuries that kept him out for years as well. So for me, legacy has to be Ronaldo. Going back to technique and work rate. Technique, I'm going to give it to Ronaldo. I liked Batistuta's technique in terms of dead ball situations and the power he got in his shooting. But in terms of the dribbling technique and first touch, Ronaldo was just different gravy. And work rate, probably give that one to Batistuta, but it's a tough one to call for that. So let's tally it up. It's very one-sided for Ronaldo, I can tell already. I thought Batistuta, he's got a few, but I thought he'd have a few more than he's got, to be honest. So heading Batistuta 1-0, anticipation Ronaldo 1-1, long-range shooting Batistuta 2-1, Goals Ronaldo 2-all. 1v1's Ronaldo 3-2. Composure Ronaldo 4-2. Dribbling Ronaldo 5-2. Acceleration Ronaldo 6-2. Tenacity Batistuta 6-3 Ronaldo. Influence Ronaldo 7-3. Teamwork Ronaldo 8-3. Agility Ronaldo 9-3. Athleticism Batistuta 9-4 Ronaldo. Technique Ronaldo 10-4. Awareness Ronaldo 11-4. Jumping Batistuta 11-5 Ronaldo. Strength Batistuta 11-6 Ronaldo. Work rate Batistuta 11-7 Ronaldo. Presence Ronaldo 12-7. Trophies Ronaldo 13-7. Career Ronaldo 14-7. And Legacy Ronaldo 15-7. So there we have it, guys. Ronaldo 15, Batistuta 7. He did alright, Batistuta. As I said, if I put him up against other strikers in the past, I think he'd win a lot of these, but he's up against the GOAT. I would say that for me, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are definitely the modern day two that are up there. But for me, I would probably have Maradona, and I would probably have this Ronaldo as the two for me in my head. So yeah, it's a tough one, but Ronaldo takes this one pretty comfortably, 15-7. But Batistuta, he was in there ducking and weaving, but ultimately he got the knockout for Ronaldo. Have a good day as well. I'll catch you guys soon.